Hi, good morning. It's January 26, 2023. This is Joe. Standing on my little back porch here. Um, we have had another storm system move through. Now, the other day, we had a huge, shouldn't say huge, we had maybe 4 to 6 inches on the ground and the whole place got plowed. And I did a video about how they moved all of the stuff well apart because in anticipation of future storms. That was only 3 or 4 days ago, and now what we have is a storm system that moved through is raining, and it's actually in about the 40s right at this moment. And I've got to check the weather forecast, but there's a couple of things worthy of note. One is not at all unusual for a northeaster storm to have warm air come in after it, because it comes up from the south and then we get a pulse of warm air following the track set by the storm. And often in snow, in a northeaster, they end in rain so that you get an icy crust on the snow, which means that you break through the crust. So you have the snow, but when the crust breaks like that, you can't ski on it because you keep breaking through. And it looks pretty, but you can't do winter sports quite as well. Now the danger is, and I have to check the forecast, but for this driveway here, if it drops at the end of this suddenly, which I actually don't think it will do, then this will all freeze and I will be able to ice skate on my driveway. I'm going to come down here and actually shovel this slush out, at least a track of the slush, to make it easier for the water to drain. I can already see that on one side of the driveway it's darker than the other side, meaning that that's getting water coming down from the road again, which is just unacceptable, because it moves an incredible amount of sand with it. And I've learned a lot. Actually, the one unpredictable thing for me is what is the effect of water flow through the place in wintertime. Everything else is kind of on schedule for the most part except one, but right now you can see it's all going down one side of the driveway and there. So at least at some point I'm going to get out here and all that. It is raining. I do have gutters up. The gutters haven't been knocked down yet. Now on the car you can see that the part over the engine has actually slid. And if you look at the roofs of the things here, what's happened is the snow load is still on the roof from the other day, and it's just getting saturated with water. This is a phenomenon when everyone has a metal roof. At some point, the friction coefficient of that will make it all slide, and it will come down in a huge avalanche. And out my door, you can see the church in the far away, and you can actually see what the Alpinists would call the Bürgerschrunde of the avalanche, which is the break zone, because that one slid. And in New England, you never stand too close to the eave of a house when snow is on it, because it will come down in a huge whomp. Now, I'm not getting out in the wet part right at this moment, but in my own house, I have the same thing where I have all of the snow that from the last few storms is still up there, because the house is so well insulated, I'm not losing any heat. And when you don't lose any heat, you don't cause snow melt at the bottom of the snow pile, and it stays until it goes. If you have a person who's poorly insulated, but they're still heating their attic, then what happens is you can go by the house and see who's slid and who's not. Now here's an example from the other way. The L of that house and the barn over there are not heated, and they have slid off. Actually, the barn has sort of got some heat because she keeps her critters in there. But this is the issue. Last night was exceptionally quiet in my house, which is always exceptionally quiet. More so, and I think that's just because the snow has a sound deadening property to it on the roof. And that's the story. That's my wood pile from scrap wood that never got picked up. I don't think I'm going to be chopping up that anymore to put in the wood stove until spring comes at this point. That's the fire department building. Oh, what else is there to say? This is the top secret laboratory over here with the two big doors. That is the portal to the 11th dimension. It says keep out because we don't want anybody from this century to go wandering around like Rick and Morty. And hopefully nobody will figure out where the on-off switch is. Mitch has done an exceptional job of rewiring the garage in a sensible, professional way. But maybe he should have hid the on-off switch to the portal better than he did. I'll have to speak with him about that. But basically, I'm happy not to be driving. And I'm off the hook for ferrying my grandson to the preschool today. I'm sure that the actual main roads are better salted and sanded and plowed than the driveway is. And when you live like this, what happens is your driveway is the worst part. You get onto the small feeder road, there it is. Okay, catch you later.